Mark, it's a hot day, it's a dusty circuit. Have you got any concerns about that as you're going into this race?
Oh, of course, we're going to earn our cash today. The drivers will. It's a very, very physical circuit, very, very bumpy. So it takes it out of you, but yeah, I've been here before, so we know what we need to do. It's a very, very not a boring race for the drivers, but it's not easy to overtake. It comes down to pit strategy, and obviously pit strategy in the first sector of the race, really, because if you can't, after we get through 1 and 2, then the overtaking is very, very limited here. So yeah, it's not the most exciting Grand Prix for us to try and make passing moves, but we'll see how we go.
Is this the kind of race where you're extra cautious going into turn 1, because it is a huge potential for incident there, isn't it?
Well, you've just said that, so maybe it's always a fine line, you know. I mean, I need to I'm very keen to try and stay ahead of Jarno, and so I just have to work out how much of a risk I need to take to try and do that. And it's not over after the first corner, because the fight still goes into turn 2, and then after turn 2, then that's the first stint really settled.
Have fun.
Just.
And the drivers also, Mark, talk a great deal about the dirty side of the grid. Mark Webber will start from the dirty side of the grid. What exactly does that mean?
Basically, the part of the circuit what doesn't get used on the racing line, and the dust is there. There's a lot of rubber and oil and so forth where other cars are broken down and poured across it. So it's not ideal, but you know, a few of the cars will try and pull down there and do some starts, try and get a little bit of that dirt and dust pushed away so they get a bit of grip off the start, but it's not ideal.
Huge crowds here at the Hungaroring, and we mentioned that there's big support from Finland for the likes of Heikki Kovalainen and Kimi Räikkönen as well, also from Poland for Robert Kubica. We haven't really talked about the BMW challenge this afternoon.
It's been not as strong as what we've seen in recent weeks, because I think Heifeld was very poor in qualifying, so that's been tough. And Kubica as well, doing a good job actually, but looking like he was struggling with the car in terms of balance.
Kimi Räikkönen will be starting from row 3. Let's swiftly go down to the front of the grid, though. Martin Whitmarsh of McLaren is with Ted.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, Martin, this start, you must be worrying about this. I mean, we saw in the GP2 race, the guy who was actually in second led into the first corner.
Yeah, of course you do. I think we only got to look back at Silverstone, and that was fairly tight. There was no doubting that both our guys were racing each other as they went into Copse, and I'm sure there won't be any doubt in this start. Both of them want to get through that first corner in first place. They're both pretty sensible guys, so hopefully they'll come through intact in 1-2, whichever order they come through. Providing the red cars are behind them, we'll be fairly relaxed.
So what have you said to them? Because there's so many things that could happen. They could both be pushing too hard, or they could both back off in a kind of after you Claude type way.
No, the reality is that both the guys are pretty sensible. They've got a lot of respect for one another. We haven't had a deep conversation about it. And you know, I could be eating these words, of course, in half an hour's time, but I think they're going to be focused on trying to beat each other and make sure they can stay ahead of everyone else. It's a long race, and you know, the reality is the bit of tarmac that's easiest to overtake is between here and the first corner. Thereafter, it's pretty difficult here at the Hungaroring.
Okay, Martin, thanks very much. Over to you, Lou.
Down on the grid with Honda's Nick Fry. Nick, your boy Jensen, he did a good job yesterday, didn't he? I mean, just put it into perspective, how good was it?
Yeah, that was an extremely good lap from Jensen. You know, he really pulled it out of the bag when he needed to, and to jump 3 or 4 places was really a fantastic effort. So expecting more this afternoon, hopefully.
What's your game plan for capitalising on this position and getting some points?
Well, you know, it's choice of tyres really. It's going to be very interesting to see what tyres people start on. Track temperatures here is well in excess of 40 degrees, which means that which one you start on, the harder or the softer tyre, is going to be critical, and which ones you switch to. And we think the track will come to the option tyre, but you've got to be pretty brave to start on it.
So are you expecting to see everybody pretty much running the same tyre strategy, or do you think we'll see a few people going a bit different?
We've debated that long and hard. In qualifying yesterday, you saw people choose different tyres, and they're quite close to each other over one lap, but how they degrade is quite different, and today's even hotter than yesterday. So you know, we could see, I think, most of them on the prime tyre, but you might see a few taking a chance.
Thanks, Nick. Good luck.
Thanks.